equip, evangelize. With faith in our hearts, we'll rise to the skies. Hope for them ministry, spreading the word. Join us in the mission. Let your voice be heard. Let our voice be heard. Let's light, evangelize. Hope, let the message be clear. Together we're stronger, we'll conquer our fear. Evangelize hope, let the message be clear. Together we're stronger, we'll conquer our fear. Evangelize, equip, evangelize. With faith in our hearts, we'll rise to the skies. Oh, for them in the streets, spreading the word. Join us in the mission. Let your voice be heard. Hope for the mysteries. We're all in this fight. With love and with purpose, we'll shine the light.
Hello there.
There we go.
Man, it's exciting to be here tonight. This is Evelyn Heron, and she's been working with us now for quite a while. And we have been so excited about tonight. We've done a lot of things since we saw y'all last.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, we wore our suitcases out. And we flew to the Philippines, and we had a layover in Los Angeles.
Oh, gosh.
And for y'all that know me really well, you know that I'm counting my steps. I want to count my steps every day. So we landed in LAX, and
Count your steps. You can't count them no more.
no, because at LAX, from the arrival terminal to the departure terminal was 2.6 miles, and we were walking in this tunnel-like thing, and I'm like, Evelyn, there's a defibrillator on the wall. I mean, like, if you're not going to make it, you can defib your traveling buddy,
Yeah.
So, anyway, we really have had an amazing 6 months. And I want to just talk to y'all for just a minute. If we could put the phone number up, that tonight is a special night, and I need you to write this number down, and I need you to start calling in, because when you call in with your contribution to bring sustainability to all of this harvest that we are bringing in tonight, we've got some gifts for you. Let me just show you one.
Yes. I'm excited about these.
Here's a nice little hot board, a little cutting board, and here's a larger one.
I wouldn't even use it to cut it.
I know.
I would use it for a charcuterie board.
Yeah. Here's we have 2 sets of coasters. And
wait, how do I win one of these?
Well, you have to call in and make a contribution.
Hold on.
And
Hold on, let me call and make a contribution.
And look at this one, y'all. Look here at this one.
Is that a Lazy Susan?
Yes, ma'am. Look at this. So you can, I have one of these in my kitchen, and that's where I have all my spices. But you can put it on your dinner table. You could put cheese, ham and cheeses on it. We've got some other things that are on the board and also, we have Hope for Them coffee cups. So if you land on that particular slot, we're going to be sending you a set of 2 coffee cups.
And be careful because it's really, really hot.
Yeah.
It keeps your
coffee really hot. So, so just let me say a couple of things here. Are they able to see that number now? There it is. It is area code 832-712-0, no, 9629. So can everybody get that number written down? I mean, he's going to leave it up there for a little bit, but I want you to be ready to give. And you can call in and you can give them your credit card over the phone number, and they'll certainly get that process for you. But I do want to talk to you about what your gift will do tonight.
Yes.
We had tremendous harvest this year so far. We were in 3 villages throughout the Philippines, ministering to over 150 kids with 42 conversions,
Yeah.
establishing a legacy Bible camp, and opening. There they are.
Oh,
Look at them.
there are. Oh,
they're-
that makes me so happy.
So,
And that's part of a class in the mountains that we had to divide because it started raining outside.
yes.
So that's why they're inside. Not all of them were able to have class or camp inside.
Now here's the thing: all those kids are unchurched because they're up in the mountains. Honestly, going up that mountain, you don't see anybody except some walkers and a few people on motorbikes. Okay, and so I'm like, where did all these kids come from?
Yeah.
There they are.
There
There's
they
Evelyn
are.
with her translator,
They literally live in the clouds.
and you
Is
see
that
how
not
you see
awesome?
how cloudy it is in the background there. That's how they live. That's
Yep.
how high up we were. At one point, it got so cloudy, it looked. I mean, it was weird because you really couldn't see. It was
Yeah.
that's how foggy it was. So there's another group. Evelyn takes them by group. They come to their class by age, and
Sorry, guys. These are the first times that I see some of these. These are good pictures.
well, the interesting thing is all those parents back there behind. They've never experienced anything like it.
No.
The thing that is so different, and you see how they're seated there. I just wonder, are our Bible training classes for 5 and 6-year-olds that attentive? So
Right?
this is a very structured program that that she's developed, and she started it in the Philippines. It kind of started in her heart in the Philippines. Then we went to East Africa, and we may have some pictures of those kids. And
Yeah,
she
that
did,
was a whole different.
but it was.
Yeah.
I mean, we limited the sizes. We limited registration. You
Yeah.
had to register to attend this.
Isn't it crazy? We had to learn about registration.
Oh.
Like it's so much that we didn't do in Africa. Who would have thought to be conscientious about everything we did on this camp? I mean, I know for a fact that a lot of my friends here in the States were already praying or had already prayed for the people or the kids that would be at the camp because we got a first and last name of the pastors in that church of the unreached children that were coming that day. So I
Yeah.
think because we were so intentional on everything, I think it worked out. I mean,
You know,
perfect. Because we were able
That's
to do
interesting.
exactly what we were there to do, which
Oh.
is deliver the message.
that's pioneering, Evelyn.
Yeah.
That's pioneering, and that is certainly one of the aspects that this whole ministry has functioned under since we started. Um, they're there now. That's another age group, and so we've established a training program. There's some strict criteria. Oh, you know what this is a group of?
Which one's this
Oh,
one?
while y'all were sleeping last night,
Ah,
I sent funding to Rwanda, and this is the singers out of that group. There's probably more than 200 people in that group.
while
Ye-
we were sleeping.
While you were, I promise
While
you.
we were sleeping, you were, yeah.
Yes, he texted me and he said there are some of them. He said it's 2 a.m.
Uh huh.
I have a crisis. I have all of these young people that are coming,
Yeah.
and I need to feed them. So I remitted funding to him, and then in the middle of the day, he downloaded all of these
Oh,
photos for
wow.
me.
That's awesome.
And again, they're being discipled. They're learning to worship. They're learning to. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
It's just. It's utterly
Look at their
amazing.
worship department.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Very, very primitive. But
Wow.
right in the middle of all of that, state of the art. Look at that concentration. I mean, they are loving
Yeah.
hearing the gospel,
Yeah.
and she's just absorbing it. Um, so I'm going to ask you to give a gift tonight that will help us to sustain what has been started. If you can call at 832-712-9629, just call in and give your gift. And we're going to keep going. The minute that somebody calls,
Look at Mia.
there's Mia.
Hi,
She's
Mia.
Show them your phone, Mia. She's
Oh, she's got two. Well, which
yeah,
one?
she's
We
got
got.
yeah.
Yeah, she's got a couple of phones.
Yeah, she called that one right there, and you're going to get to spin and see what your gift is going to be,
Yeah.
and you're going to help us sustain. So for
Sustain
anybody,
is the key word, if anything, on this podcast, right?
there we go.
Oh, sustainability.
So so uh, so what does that involve? Somebody came to me a week or so ago and told me that they felt bad because they didn't have a whole lot to give.
Oh,
But they said, "But I'm praying for you every day." And I was just so touched by the commitment
yes.
and that willingness, the giving everything that they can give, doing everything they can do. And so there's a lot of prayer that needs to take place. We are now in
Yeah.
7 nations. Our our administrative team in those 7 nations is almost 30 people.
Yeah.
Okay, uh,
Well, just in the Philippines, it's you were having meetings like 10 people, 10 staff
the
members.
staff.
Just staff.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just staff is 10 to 15, which is amazing.
Um, we have 2 locations in Rwanda, and we have another location in Kenya. We have a new location in Uganda, a new location in the DRC, and another location in the DRC, and Mexico, in the Philippines on 2 islands. And I do want to give a praise report. Uh, this last Saturday, the leaders of the DRC and the leaders of Rwanda met in Washington, D.C., and signed a peace treaty.
Oh, wow.
And so I talked to my team leader and asked him, had they left yet? And he said, no, they hadn't packed up, but that they were issuing all the commands and organizing for the movement of the rebel troops out of um, out of the Congo, and they're going to relocate
Mm.
in South Africa. So there were a lot of negotiations and peace treaties that had to be signed for those rebel troops to pass through those countries.
Yeah.
So that was really good news for us because in that region, when people are massacred, the children are sent to Ijwi Island. And we have a lot of them. And
Yeah.
we're trying to educate them, trying to feed them, trying to do a lot of really amazing things with our dedicated team. So just remember that whoops, pull my earplug out. That your gift is crucial to sustaining our efforts, and you know, we are committed to responding as the Spirit of God leads us. Um, we we have the harvest actually to fall at our feet, and I will tell you that years ago that the Lord promised me that He promised me that we had been set aside uh, for the harvest. That was His words. You have been preserved for the harvest. And He said, when the harvest falls at your feet, fall on your knees and give glory to God.
Wow.
And we've always done that. We've always given God the glory for what He has done, what He's doing. Um, he said, I preserved you for the harvest. So you take the sickle and you weld it in the harvest. And, you know, the sickle is the word of God. It's powerful than a two-edged sword. And that's to me why Hope for Them and its efforts with We Feed is based on the fact that they're going to get food, but they're going to get the word. The work with the Women of Hope, we're trying to educate them, but they're also getting the word. The efforts in FMBI, of course, is to train pastors and leaders. And then we come along with Legacy, and Legacy Bible Camp is to disciple children all the way through. Look at there. You know what that is, that photo right there?
Frida.
Well, yeah,
Wow.
it is. But that's from 2016. The doors opened, and I took 10 years of Bible school courses, set them up for a year's worth of study,
Oh wow.
put them
Yeah.
in one manual, and flew to Kenya. That is Nakuru, Kenya, and that is some of the first group. We went to Pastor Paul Russell, Rick Llewellyn, and I, and we said, look, we're going to go to Kenya. We're going to take this, and we're believing that 25 remote shepherds are
Yeah.
gonna want to enroll. And so he wrote us a check and said,
Wow.
here, print your material, because you have to print it after you get there. Here, take this and print your materials. We were so excited. We were just waiting for these 25 people to enroll. Day of enrollment, 58.
Oh wow.
58. We were a little short on funding, but we met the guy in the beige suit.
Yeah.
That's Pastor Bishop Joseph Mandati. And I've got a little caption down there with my dear friend Rick Llewellyn. And those are some more guys. I believe on that trip, yeah, we
Wow.
some of
2017.
2016,
16.
June of 2016. Yes, and you know what? Those guys are so great. I went back. I think this is a trip. Ray used to wear a lot of ties because he
Yeah.
wore a lot of suits to go to work. So I told him, "Hey, I'm going to take your ties and give them to these guys over here." And he was like, "Okay, whatever." So uh, they came to pick us up at our hotel on Sunday morning for Sunday school at 6:30
Oh
a.m.
wow.
And
Wait, you wake up at 6:30
no,
a.m.?
I had to be ready. I had to be ready to go teach Sunday school class at 6:30 a.m. And so they were
Not
waiting.
this, Robin.
No, yeah, I did, and I met them out there, and I had raised neckties for everybody. So then we came back to the Philippines, and this was really the start of the
Yeah.
independent study program. So help us sustain this, okay? This year at graduation,
Oh yeah.
I had been told that there was that we had a student.
Oh, I have a picture up
Uh,
that I sent
yeah,
Ignacio
yeah,
to
that
put up.
Yeah, it's a me. I got on a green shirt.
This
Uh,
was when we were having already dinner that he
yes,
slowly came up to say hello.
yes, because he
Gosh, there's
doesn't
so
speak
many
English.
moments that are blowing my mind right now. That one was one of the moments of this trip that just solidified why we do what we do.
It's so
Gosh, yes.
amazing because, oh, look at this. You know who these guys are? This Maasai tribe people, Collins and his friend. And they came like 20 hours on the bus from northern Tanzania.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah, that's Collins. They're Maasai tribal people, and the Maasai tribe is one of it's the second largest tribe in the continent of Africa. Uh, and this other gentleman, he speaks a dialect. So our administrator at the school in the Philippines had to translate the manual into his dialect because he doesn't speak any English.
Oh,
So, and
wow.
the reason he came to talk to us was because he was getting ready to go. He had an overnight trip to make back uh, to his village. So, uh, a sustainable gift does a lot of things. A sustainable gift helps us feed the children. A sustainable gift helps the team leader buy his boat ticket and buy all the supplies to travel
Travel, yeah.
over to the island to to feed the kids. Uh, a sustainable gift buys a scholarship for a pastor that, like this tribal pastor
Yeah.
uh, on Mindanao. Uh, your gift helps us to at least sponsor some of our staff that works for Hope for Them every day.
Yeah.
A sustainable gift helps us buy land, buy seed for the women of hope.
Yeah.
Sustainable gifts help us provide material.
Yeah. It
Eh,
seems like just because we went to the Philippines, um, things were going to stop in Africa or, and it's like things have just gotten more and more busy as it has. It's like,
yes.
when do we, is there a break in between?
No. Sorry, Evelyn. There's no break.
There's no
There's
break.
no break. I'm just wondering who will be the next caller.
Yeah.
Could could I get one of my friends to call in right now on that 832-712-9629? I would love to hear from somebody if you would give us a call.
There's Mia.
She's waiting on you there. Is somebody calling? I'm waiting to hear that phone ring. I do also want to talk to you just a little bit about FMBI. I think we may have some photos from graduation and some of the sessions. Um, uh, and let me say this: on July the 22nd, we will be back on live podcast because Bishop Rafa Rios will be here with us from Torreon, Mexico.
Yeah. One of the graduates of FMBI.
Oh, you know what this is a picture of? This is a picture of the very first class in the Philippines. Look, it
Wow.
started in 2000.
There's Pastor Danny,
Yes, and there's
Pastor
Pastor Danny,
Nivea.
Pastor Neria. I think Alicia and Lito are in this group.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. Fishers of Men. I actually started it on January the 8th of 1996. January the 8th is a very important date, and if you will call in and spin the wheel and land on important dates.
Yeah.
I'll give you a clue right now. You want to just say January the 8th, 1996. And then if somebody lands on that, I'll tell y'all whose birthday that is.
Oh.
So we started, and the school grew. We started with about 60, 65, 70 students, but you have a lot of attrition when you
Yeah.
start asking people for homework.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So not everybody,
Not everybody. Yeah.
they don't hang
Well,
in
think
there.
about that. They're thinking about running water,
Well,
and you
uh,
want handed homework.
yeah, well, but Torreon, I mean, most houses have running water. People just didn't have the time, maybe I
Yeah.
should say,
Yeah.
to be a real student that takes time and reads and prepares.
Yeah.
Okay, so we ended up graduating 12, and Rafa and his wife Argentina were in that group.
And they'll be here. She'll
Th-
be here too, right?
Yes, they'll
That's
be
good.
here July the 22nd. So we'll be back here live, and you can do the math. Rafa was about 18 or 19 when he started, and his story is tremendous. So
Yeah.
we'll be making some announcements and letting y'all know about that. So uh, we started, and it grew. It became very strong, and then the doors opened in the Philippines. So um, I had met Pastor Danny at a conference in Washington State at Wendell Smith's church, and he invited me to come. Please bring the Bible Institute to him.
Yeah. I have a picture of you telling them that story on at his house where we did the church where we did camp. And
Uh-huh.
he's telling you the story on how he met you there and how he wanted you to come to see him. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what took us to Southeast Asia. And then a couple of years ago, we did a 5 nation tour. Met their contacts, and now we've gone to Iloilo,
Yeah.
which is an island just about an hour and a half flight from Mindanao. So
Oh,
yeah, okay. So
yeah.
we landed on Luzon in Manila, and then we went to Iloilo,
Yeah.
and it was just amazing because we met a couple of pastors, and we just said to them, hey, listen, Evelyn comes with
Oh, it was yeah, it was on us.
an amazing kids program, a children's ministry program.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, can she teach our Sunday school
Tomorrow.
tomorrow?
The day of. The day.
But she was ready. So, but here's the
Yeah.
interesting thing about it. Um that church probably has as many children as it does
Yeah, I sent
uh,
some pictures
parents.
to Ignacio. That room was really small. I mean, and it was busting in the seams, which is always a good thing when your church is doing that. But when you see a kids ministry thing, like I told her, you guys are growing, and she's like, "Yep, I am." I said, "Then you need to start making disciples of some of these little ones.
Yeah.
Make leaders of these little ones." So I was able to teach there, which was very, very crazy to have 2 to 5 year olds in a little, absolutely little room. But they did every single thing on the curriculum. They never said no. They, I mean, they were amazing. And for us not to have to go in ready with some curriculum, they were surprised. They were very surprised that they were able to to realize that there's a gap right there, and those children need eventually are going to come to big kids church.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited more of anything because we're going to have it in the campus. So we'll be able to have camp um, in the campus now. So I think that's going to be really awesome too.
The interesting thing about,
Oh, somebody spin the wheel.
yeah, we need y'all to call in. We have that number. Uh, we can get that number back up there.
Look at Mia.
Oh, she's spinning. Well, so I want to tell y'all about this. So when Evelyn started putting Legacy together, she not only developed a curriculum for, somebody,
Somebody got
okay,
$10 and
and
oh, and
and the coasters.
the coasters. Oh no, those are some of my favorites.
There they are. There's your congratulations. Congratulations. Um, so not only did she design the curriculum to be progressive, but she also developed a training.
Yeah.
And then she put a criteria
Yeah.
that the only way that you or your church can be involved in Legacy Camp is because your pastor or one of your leaders, some of your leaders, are graduates or they are currently enrolled in FMBI.
Yeah, I think especially because if they understand that need and they know they've been an FMBI pastor, um, just in graduation we had some pastors there that want legacy camp in their church. And the first thing, even though I wasn't an FMBI class, graduation was, are they from FMBI?
Yeah.
Well, you're at an FMBI graduation, of course, but I still had to ask, just like in Iloilo,
Yeah.
Yes, I went there and you were like, hey, can you teach tomorrow? Yeah, of course, we can teach tomorrow. But it's not just about just teaching tomorrow. It's like, who's going to teach when I'm gone?
Yeah.
Who's going to stay there when I'm gone? So kind of being in Iloilo and seeing some of the churches that do not have any kind of camp or any kind of kids program was really really hard hitting. And then of course once you get to when we were in Iligan, completely different. We everything was intentional. So just the mere fact that in Iloilo, that church, that specific church did not have any kind of kids ministry or anything like that. Because we even after I was there and I taught, I met with the both pastors, pastor, his wife, and his son. And he said, "How do we get legacy here? How do we get legacy?" And I said, "You got to start with some kind of a leader here, training your leaders, making sure your leaders are coming of your kids, out of your kids." Pretty much your youth, just like we have here. But it was just weird seeing a church that has no kind going there to teach children and realizing that there's some churches that don't have any kind of
Yeah.
curriculum, anything like that.
So there you are.
And that was just the beginning of the trip.
That's a huge challenge for us, and um, we're not going to let go of it, and we
Yeah.
want to ask you to do it with us, partner with us.
Yeah.
Um, I've been writing to you guys a lot, trying to share with y'all all of these things that are going on in the different parts of the earth. Like the guy that texted me, you know, while y'all were sleeping. Um, I think I was watching the Astros,
The
and I'm
Astros.
like, who's texting me this time of night? And it was him. And now we're invested in that group of people there. We've been there. We know
Yeah.
him. We've been
Yeah.
in his building.
Yeah.
We taught FMBI there. Evelyn taught single moms and a bazillion kids, and
Yeah.
we're established there, and so we need to sustain those relationships, and we need to sustain the discipleship
Yeah.
and the evangelism, and of course we want to make as many pastors fully equipped as possible I had an interesting event. Speaking of Rafa, uh, one of the things that is going to really accelerate the growth of the school in Mexico is the fact that now they have a minister of religious organizations and humanitarian causes. That minister wants to know that every man
Oh
or
wow.
woman pastoring an independent church, an independent Christian church, has a theological studies
Oh
background,
wow.
and that's what that's what we can give. That's what we can bring. We can we can give the credential, but it takes sustainability. And one of the things that we're teaching
Yeah.
on each island is sustainability. That's why we've done animal initiatives. We've
I know. Is
done,
there any I know we have
I
pictures
think,
up that I send of the women of hope with their shovels and
yeah, we have those pictures. They grew peanuts and corn. Uh, I know all of y'all remember a couple of 3 years ago when we were buying goats, and now the goats have had goats that have had goats.
that
The
have had
initial
yeah.
goats are great grandmothers. We've had a lot of goats, and we have a cow,
Yeah.
and we want more cows,
Yeah.
and uh, we're trying to teach the women of hope, the adults in the mix, uh, the importance of a sustainable life, and
Yeah.
they are putting in the work. They are doing it. These are all sustainable projects, and not just projects, but lifestyle, transformational
Yeah.
lifestyle that we are creating through relationships and through discipleship programs. It was
Yeah.
amazing to me. I got pictures one day of like 5 or 6 women, and like you were saying, they're standing there and they got their new shovel,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
all proud of their new shovel.
Yeah.
I'll get y'all a shovel.
Right. There's
Go
they
ahead.
have their shovel there, but they're so happy because again, it's sustainable. They're going, they're gonna reap from what from that sowing. I mean, it's
It was I opened my phone up one day, and there was this a picture of this mountain of peanuts, and it was a picture from my team leader, and then I got another picture, and there's a lady going up a hill with a huge sack of corn.
oh wow.
So they were in the middle of harvest.
Yeah.
I even wrote about this, and some of y'all saw those pictures uh, of the summer
Yeah,
harvest.
I think they're not coming up for some reason. I mean,
Yeah. Well, when they come up, we'll grab them and
yeah.
tell y'all about them. If you don't want to call in, you can always go to
Yeah.
hopeforthemnow.org. Hopeforthemnow.org, and you can just click on the logo, which this is the logo. This right here is the logo. On the newsletters, it's blue, but it's right here. And you just click on that; it'll take you right to the PushPay app. And I'll tell you what, let's do this. If you're not wanting to call in, uh, everybody that goes to PushPay tonight and gives, uh, I'll pick out a gift and I'll send it to you.
Oh, wow. That's a good
So
one.
you don't necessarily have to spend. So just go to hopeforthemnow.org, click on the blue hand, or that's going to put you to the website. It's going to say donate now
Yeah,
at the
donate
top.
now.
It says donate now at the top. There it is right there, hopeforthemnow.org. And it's going to say donate now at the top. You click on that, it'll take you to the PushPay app. You just put your name, whatever it asks for. You can make a gift for tonight, or you can sign up to be a monthly contributor. But if you
Yeah,
give,
I think a monthly contributor is really
that's sustainable.
exactly. I was just gonna say that it goes. It's just. I mean, just because you leave the boots from the ground, you still. I mean, that's everything is still vibrating for you. You're still living in the Philippines. You're still there's still a team there. Getting everything done, making it. You know, for Sunday, making it get up and make sure the kids are there, and it's it's very sustainable to just become a monthly partner. That way, when you do get to see those newsletters, you get to live through
Where
them.
you get to
Yeah,
identify with them, and
yeah,
I hope all of y'all that are so faithful in giving realize how valuable that you are to us. I mean, everything we do, we talk about how can we share this with our partners?
yeah,
How do what part can they play? Of course, uh, I used to always tell everybody, pray, give, or go. I don't. Uh, some people, some people actually do want to go. Most people want to pray and give,
yeah,
and that is such a solid, sustainable relationship, and we're interested in that. Um, we don't take what we do lightly.
yeah.
We value people that want to do this with
It's
us.
ongoing. Like there's ongoing training done now. So it's every second, every like right now they're just getting up. So ooh, they're getting ready.
Yeah, that this. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock in the morning in the Philippines, and it's about 2 o'clock in the morning in East Africa. So, um, uh, you know, this has been, I guess, the best job I've ever had.
Mm.
Um, I've done a lot of things in my life. I learned a lot from Ray. He wanted me to be a corrosion expert.
No,
Um, and that was fun. Like we had a lot of things in common, and we could work together.
yeah,
So that was fun. Uh, but when the Lord released me uh, to embrace the world
yeah.
over over time, it literally became the best job ever.
Mm.
There's nothing like bringing people to the Lord. There's nothing like transforming the lives of the abject, impoverished person. I, I wish all of y'all could meet the women of hope. That you could see and hear
Their
their
daily struggle.
their gratitude. Um, when we were there, um, you had vacated the room. Oh, you had gone down
Yeah,
because
I
they were
went
starting to
downstairs.
feed.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
S-
feeding time.
so they were all in there, all the women of hope. Y'all, they showed up with their goats. I was like,
You can't
okay.
take them upstairs.
Yeah, they brought their goats right in there. But their testimonies were like, um, I was destitute. I was hopeless. I
Oh
had,
wow, I
I
didn't get to see those. Yeah, that's
oh, and they would say that they had no food for their children.
yeah.
They had no food for themselves. And they were like, they they considered themselves a nobody.
Yeah.
And then their face would light up and they'd go, but now I'm a businesswoman.
Yeah.
So, if you sustain hope for them in the work that we're doing, our mandate is to evangelize, is to educate, is to equip. It's taken me quite a while to fulfill those massive mandates.
Yeah.
I,
Mandates.
I don't know. I
I'm
honestly,
overwhelmed.
I don't
Yeah.
know how
I didn't know what I was yeah,
you
what I
didn't
was
know what
getting
getting
into.
into. I'm
No,
like,
I didn't. I was like, but I'm just gonna go do camp.
Yeah.
But how about establishing camp and that it stays there and that it continues is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like it's not just camp, it's something that they're going to have, you know, and that they need to have. So,
You know what? It just hit me. You're right. It's not just camp. It's a new lifestyle
yeah, it's not just camp.
because uh, the training, her training is very intensive, and this is for workers in the church,
Yeah.
not necessarily people that want to have a degree in
Oh yeah, no,
theological
they were
studies.
picked. They were picked by the church. These trainers that we trained to do camp with me. I mean, they were crop. I mean, cream of the crop people because it's okay. Not everybody can work with children, but when you're going to establish something like that at a church or at your church or
Uh
some
huh.
kind of legacy,
Uh huh.
it just has to make sure that they somebody else
Thank
called.
you, whoever that
Um,
was. That's great. That's great.
um,
You know, Evelyn, you're absolutely right. And I am very thankful for you and for this team, for Ignacio, Raquel Bautista, for Mia, for Rocky, for Evelyn, for Yvonne. Ah, yes,
and that's
yes.
just over
Oh,
here.
coffee cups. Okay.
Oh, some of these.
Yes.
Somebody called.
Um, you know, I love that word legacy.
Yeah.
You know, we built the Ray Posgay Legacy Center. And I love the fact that what came out of it, because um, after we did legacy at the Ray Posgay Legacy Center, I could see that, something had really gotten a hold of Evelyn. And she was just talking like a mile a minute. And I
Yeah.
mean, she just was the vision that she had. And then she made a statement. And that's when she said, I want to see the children here on Ijwi enrolled in FMBI one day. And even like right now, I'm covered in goosebumps because what she was saying is she she wants them to create their own legacy.
Yeah.
And we're talking about kids from Rwanda and from the Congo. Their parents have been massacred. We don't even know if
Yeah,
they.
these are like even I mean intentionality goes with everything that I say. Every child is intentionally picked. Every child is already groomed to be a leader, you know? These
Mhm.
children that we got to see in the Philippines are children that will jump into FMBI. There's intentionality on everything that's done since they're young, you know.
Yeah,
They've already somebody already saw something great in them.
and that was God.
Oh
Okay,
gosh,
because
yes.
because what I was going to say is uh, they're shipped over there
Yeah.
on a passenger boat because the governments wherever their parents were killed, either in Rwanda, perhaps in Uganda, or perhaps the DRC,
Yeah.
uh, they're they're abandoned. I mean, and we don't know if they saw their parents massacred. I don't know that all of them are even old enough to know their name. Um, they don't have any relatives. Thank goodness the DRC this year did ask the people on the island if they would let some children sleep around their
Mm.
house. Okay. So, but I feel the exact same way that it's almost as though the Lord handpicked them and 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 rescued them out of this horrible genocide war
Yeah.
and brought them to Ijwi for safekeeping, knowing all the time that Legacy Camp was coming down the road.
Yeah.
Legacy was coming down the road, and that it's just like the women of hope. They're the same thing. They were captured, their husbands were massacred, they were taken into captivity, they were raped, they were tortured, they were enslaved, they were
Mm.
starved, and then one day they were released and they had nothing but the clothes on their back. And they ended up on Iqui Island, and they were literally starving. And we found them during COVID.
Oh
I got
wow.
a phone
Yeah.
call. Can you please help us? Yes, of course. And that's when we changed their name to Women of Hope. And now they are women filled with hope. They have ambition. They have drive. We bought a 1 acre plot of land, and we rented 2 other fields, so they got crops in 3 fields. I mean, and they helped us build the Ray Posgay Legacy Center. They can haul a
On their
sack
yeah, I was
load
gonna
of
say on their back.
on their
Yeah, on their
backs.
backs.
Okay, so your sustainable gift. I'm checking the time here. We got 2 minutes, and I just want to encourage you to either call in or go to the hopeforthemnow.org site.
Yeah.
But
And if you want to see any more of our pictures from the trip, they're being uploaded right now.
yeah, they'll be on the website soon. So let me. I just want to pray for
Yes.
everybody. If you'll just pause with us for just a moment. Father, I am so grateful, Lord, for your goodness, for your mercy, for your provision. Even in the hours when there is great need, sometimes we go to the seed barrel and there's nothing there. But then you, Lord, in your mercy and in your wisdom, you move on hearts. And by daylight, there's funds.
Yes.
It happens so often with Hope for Them. Every partner, every prayer partner, every financial giving partner, I know that you send them to us, God. There has been times when I had no communication with anyone, and I would just say to you, Lord, you know we need $1,000. And within hours, I've literally had people come to the door, knock on the door, and say, I was at Walmart and the Lord told me, bring a check. And so here I am. I have numerous stories like that. I have people drive up and say, hey, I can't stay, but the Lord told me to bring you $3,000. And it has sustained us. It substance in the kingdom is multiplied.
Yeah.
And I thank you, God, that you are the master of multiplication. Bless everyone that ever sees this podcast tonight. Bless everyone that made this happen. And I pray, God, for multiplication to be applied to every gift given. In your precious name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you,
Okay,
Lord.
well, it's 8 p.m. and our time is up. You want to say anything in closing?
Yes. Keep up watching. We have another podcast coming up. I know you do
Rafa,
with Rafa.
July
Oh
22.
man, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
Can you call in on that one to ask questions?
Yeah.
No. Other than that, I think we should have another one when we get all the pictures loaded up and stuff from the trip. I think that's one of my biggest ones is getting all those pictures so we can kind of have another podcast on really how everything that we accomplished while we were out there.
Yes. And we'll be back in July, and we'll have our schedule worked out by then,
Yeah.
announcing our dates for the fall, and hopefully our activities and reporting on our growth,
Yeah.
because that's what we're
For this
looking
summer.
forward to. Let me say this one thing, last thing about FMBI. We will be opening in 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 campuses in August. We won't open all of them simultaneous, but 8 campuses will be opening in August. So um, pray with us, pray for us, and God bless you until we see you next time.
I really like these.
Mhm.
In every heart, there's a light to shine. Hope for them in the streets. One step at a time, educate the minds, let the knowledge flow. Together we can help our community grow.